Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to an update in business. The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, is calling on the National Petroleum Authority to ensure that all oil marketing companies that flouted industry regulations recently are sanctioned. Executive Secretary of the Chamber, Duncan Amwa, was particular about OMCs which add chemicals to their fuels to shortchange consumers. He's also urging affected companies to ensure that they put in place mechanisms to compensate consumers. Duncan Amwa, who was speaking at a press conference, noted the chamber will introduce a hotline for the general public to provide tip-offs and report stations that suspect shortchanging consumers.
We are saying that the set stations mentioned, there should be a compensation mechanism to the public. People who bought fuel from these stations, GSA has fined them what they can. But again, the trotro driver, the taxi driver, the unsuspecting teacher, the doctor who went to buy fuel and didn't know that these pumps were under-delivering, there should be some compensation mechanism. It is when that compensation arrangement between us and them fail that will be forced to pursue this matter legally. But if they are able to get back to the public to say, well, our clients here, we are dedicating a day, we are putting 2-3 hours. If you buy 2 gallons of fuel, we are going to compensate you with 1 extra gallon, so that the public would also know that whatever they lost, throughout this whole period, something has at least been advanced to them. Once that is done, I'm sure that the stations themselves would go around to ensure that they don't get to a point where their pumps are under delivering and they only get fined and that's the end. They would also ensure that the pumps are no longer under deliver even before GSA or COPEC or anybody else interested in these issues get to these stations. Good.
And that's all in business for now. I'll be here again with more business at midday. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. We are back to Benny's.
Emmanuel, thank you so much for bringing us the latest from the world of business. But before I go, let me bring you an update from the ongoing National Science and Maths Quiz. A 1996 contestant, now plastic surgeon Larry Ankara, has been sharing his long journey to becoming a surgeon with some of the contestants and students at this year's event. He has been speaking during a mentorship session. And let's cross over now to the RS Amegashi Auditorium. My colleague Maxwell Abugba has been interacting with him.
At the National Science and Maths Quiz, then Brilliant Science and Maths Quiz. We'll find out from him what the experience was like back then, and then talk a little bit about his journey, his roller coaster journey to becoming a plastic surgeon. Doc, so what was it like? St. Augustine's College that time? Tell us, how did you become a contestant, first of all?
I don't know. I think I just did well in school. I like to ask a lot of questions, so maybe being vocal in class was one of the things that got me chosen. Like I said, I was chosen a bit early and then I kept my grades. So eventually when I made it onto the competition, I think it went on as planned. It was quite difficult because I'm naturally a very shy person. I actually don't like cameras and all. So my first day, I do remember not talking through the entire first round. It can be quite daunting sitting up there with cameras on you, people expecting a lot more, and having to think and answer questions rapid fire. But yeah, I think I managed to get through, so yeah.
So that year in '96, do you remember your opponents and what position was St. Augustine's College?
First round was Accra Academy.
Okay.
Second round was Mauli. Then the semi-final was Wesley Girls. No, sorry. It was Accra Academy first, then the next one was Wesley Girls, then Mauli, and then the final was with Presec.
Okay.
And we lost.
You lost to Presec. Yeah. By how many points?
By 20 points.
20 points? Yeah. What happened? What went wrong?
I don't know. I don't know. It was going well because in the first round we're leading them by 7, and then suddenly everything turned around. But it's one of those things. I do remember being very desperate that the answering questions that I didn't even know the answer to. But yeah, it's one of those things in life.
So tell me, how has the science and math quiz, impacted, your life? For many of the students that we speak to here, for many of the contestants, they end up becoming medical doctors. A lot of them getting into the science field. It's much easier for them to even get admission to the, to the university because they do so well in the WASI. How has that impacted your life, taking part in the science and math quiz? Would you say it has really had any positive effects on what you're doing now?
Yeah. I mean, generally, those who would contest tend to be people who are on the top of their class, or near the top of the class. Like me, I wasn't really at the top. There are people who are academically gifted, so naturally they will make it into good and top positions.
Maxwell Agbagba there interacting with a former contestant. Well, today's competition features OWA's Kumasi Anglican Osei. That's an Ashanti region, big one there. And we've got Kumasi Senior High Technical Breaku messages, St. Ignatius of Loyola, and University Practice Asaman Kesen Bogotanga Senior High School is live on the JoyNews page on Facebook. You can watch it all there and join the conversation using hashtag NSMQ on Joy. But that'll be it for this edition of News Desk. I'm Benis Abubedulansa. Up next is JoyNews Interactive. Do stay.